Andrew Wallenstein, Deputy Editor at The Hollywood Reporter. I like to go to conferences like this to really just learn about the future of digital media. There's a lot of exciting things going on, and I try to stay abreast of them as best I can. Well, basically, we had a panel with executives from some of the leading brands in Hollywood here today. We're talking about Warner Brothers and Starz, Fox Entertainment Group, MGM, and we had some of their more senior digital distribution point people who talked about the challenges of exploiting the content assets that they have on all these new digital platforms, whether it's iTunes or Netflix, or peer-to-peer or viral video sites. There's so many different ways you could put content online that there's a lot of things to talk about that come under that. But one thing that really came out of the panel today was that ad-supported broadband is starting to really gain steam. Probably one of the biggest examples of that is this new Hulu platform that News Corp and NBC Universal are working on, where you can get all sorts of great premium content with some advertising, but it's free to the consumer. And what better way to catch up on some of the shows that you missed, discover shows you've never seen before. So we learned a lot about that platform and plenty of other things. You know, I would point you in the direction of ABC.com, which has probably the most well-developed network interface online, where basically some of the great shows that you see on ABC, like Lost and Desperate Housewives, they're all there, as well as a backlog of those shows for the consumer to go through. And it's interesting to see how they've weaved advertising into it. They'll typically reserve one advertiser per episode, and instead of just a typical 30-second spot, they have little pods, or really spaces between pods, where you could actually interact with what's going on from the advertiser. For instance, playing a game, a casual game that is themed against, say, an orange juice company, or all sorts of interesting things that make sure you're actually engaged with the commercial message as opposed to passively, well, perhaps ignoring it. You know, I think really the question of the day is giving consumers what they want, where they want it, how they want it. And I think that all comes under a phrase that gets abused a lot called convergence, where you want to blend the best of what television is in terms of picture quality and choice with the internet, which really stresses interactivity and a very different experience. And I think we're really in just the early innings of seeing how this game plays out, and it's happening in a lot of different interesting ways. Well, there's no question the writer's strike had an impact in many different ways on Hollywood. And, you know, to some degree, the writers have seen to it that they have some stake in the future of revenues that come from online. The big question is what those revenues will be. What I think is a more immediate impact is writers that were really accustomed to just working in television and film have woken up to the fact that the internet could represent a whole different place to get paid for their work, and perhaps change the kind of work that they do. I was just on a panel where I did a Q&A with Ed Zwick, who is responsible for not only the new internet program Quarter Life, but also great movies like Blood Diamond, The Last Samurai. And what he was talking about was that he really sees the internet as the place where the next generation of artists are going to go to do their art. And I think that's incredibly high-minded of him, and time will tell whether that will really be reality. To me, the stranglehold that celebrity has on popular culture, I'd be hard-pressed to see that go away in the new media world, even though right now it's not really manifesting itself in YouTube and things like that, which tend to mint sort of a whole new crop of sort of lower form celebrities. So I think it's really only a matter of time before celebrity culture really sort of takes the same stranglehold it has on current old media and does the same in new media. While right now YouTube is sort of a breeding ground for a whole new crop of celebrities, I really think it's inevitable that, you know, whether you're Britney Spears or whoever, you're going to figure out a way to extend your brand to the internet too. I think there is I want to use the word fantasy, that the internet represents this new breeding ground of talent just waiting to be discovered, and that established Hollywood companies are going to be the ones that do the plucking. And to that I'd say it really remains to be seen what that talent base is. We've seen a few isolated examples like Lonely Girl and that kind of thing, but nothing that's really translated into the kind of massive success that Hollywood is used to getting from TV and movies. That could be a matter of time, or maybe it doesn't exist.